I've had emails after emails. I've had a couple of calls about that senior citizen center. I'd like for somebody, maybe 2 or 3 people, that actually go down there. Had a lady call, and she called in and explained some things Monday night, and I appreciate that. And you know, she did a real good job explaining some of the issues, and you know, it was kind of in a disagreement with what. We on the line? Online? Okay, Honeybee says we're online, so hopefully that's good stuff. I appreciate that. The online service wasn't working there for a minute, so hopefully it's going now. But anyway, the senior center, I've got all these documents, and I've got a couple of opinions on that you know, I'm going to give again, and I've got a little bit of a different opinion, you know, so one that I didn't realize. I didn't think about it Monday night, and my buddy Mr. Slusher and I were talking about it, and came up with the opinion, you know, that I'm going to give you an opinion here and see what you think about it here in a few minutes. But somebody give me a call that actually goes. I was going to try to go tomorrow night to the dance. Unfortunately, I had an aunt passed away, and I have to go to a funeral tomorrow night, accepting friends and funeral. I'm going to go to it tomorrow night, so I won't get to go to the dance. Otherwise, I was absolutely going to go. So I could talk to some people and see what goes on, you know, see what actually happens, and get some opinions about these 2 folks that have been kicked out, or, you know, whatever, you know. But then we've got an issue in the county where apparently our finance director, from what I understand, from the way it was explained to me, our finance director feels like he has a free will just to purchase and write a check for whatever he wants to, as long as it's used equipment. And what this came up over is apparently the finance director, for some reason, he decided that the county, and this is what I was told, okay, I'm reporting to you what I was told by a county commissioner, a couple of county commissioners, and so I'm giving you secondhand information. Again, if I'm wrong about this, somebody call and correct me, but this is the way I understand it, okay? That he just decided the county needed a new piece of heavy equipment and paid $21,000 for it. They don't know where he got the permission to spend the $21,000. They don't know why he felt like the county needed this piece of equipment when people in maintenance didn't feel like we needed it. The mayor's office didn't have any idea it was even going on. County commission had no idea it was going on, but for some reason, you know, our finance director felt like we needed this piece of equipment. I don't understand. I'm gonna just be blunt with you. If this happened the way it was told, I don't see how that's any of his business. Okay, he's supposed to watch over the county's finances. He ain't supposed to be spending it just because he feels like we need a piece of equipment. I don't understand that at all. Somebody tell me, how in the world is the finance director, who's supposed to be watching over the money, making sure purchases are purchased properly, making sure they go through the right process, but yet he feels like he can spend $21,000 without even talking to anybody. I don't get where he has that authority. Somebody please call me and explain to me how he has that authority. And my understanding is there was a meeting today that the finance director and the county attorney Coker met in the county mayor's office. I've tried to get some information about that. I was able to get a little bit of information. If you're interested in that kind of thing, I was told there's going to be a finance committee meeting, this FMS committee, which is the most powerful committee in the county. There's going to be a meeting Monday, and I'm going to bet some of these questions are going to come up, and some answers, are going to be asked of Mr. Marlowe. So, and then there's a county commission meeting Monday night at 6 o'clock, the regular monthly meeting. I would bet those questions are going to come up again in that meeting. I've said it many times. You've heard me. Mr. Marlowe is one of the most intelligent people, but he can work them figures. He knows the laws, but I just don't understand how he feels like he can spend $21,000 of county money. I can't do it. You can't do it. How's he get to do it? You're on the air.
Hey, Jerry.
Yes.
Buddy, tell Honeybee that She needs to turn some lights on you.
Oh, I forgot the lights. I did that.
It looks awful dark in there.
Well, hold on a minute.
Okay.
Hold on a minute.
All right.
The lights, I do that. That's my fault. Me and Honeybee was talking. Oh. I appreciate you mentioning that.
I just wondered what was going on, buddy.
Now, we better?
Yeah, I just wondered what was going on there, buddy.
Me and Honeybee was talking about a couple of things before the show started. I generally set the lights up like I like them, and I just plumb forgot. Can you see now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
That's a lot better, buddy. See?
Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, me and Honeybee were talking about it just before the show went on, and she had to run out of here because it got to be 8 o'clock, and I forgot to set the lights up. That's me. That's my fault. So, but anyway, I'm sure what I was told is this issue about Mr. Marlowe just up and deciding he wanted to spend $21,000 because he felt like the county needed this piece of equipment. I was told that the mayor was pretty upset about this. Let's see. I thought we had a call coming in. So, okay. So, but anyway, there's going to be more come up about that. Probably Monday, I'd say there's going to be a lot come up about that. So, let's go back to this senior citizens thing. I read this letter, or part of this letter, that Mr. Kohlmeyer, the director, and this lady who's the chairman of the board of directors, and I'm not going to mention her name, sent out to this lady that they were proposing to ban a written warning from the Campbell County Senior Citizen Center. Okay, now you got to understand. And again, I could be wrong about what I'm getting ready to tell you, but I think I'm right. I think I am. Okay, there's federal money that comes into that senior center. There's state money that comes into that senior center. There's a little bit of county money. There's not a lot of county money that goes in that senior center, but there's a little bit. Okay. This letter that was sent out to this lady, it said, it has been brought, now it says up here in the it says written warning from the Campbell County Senior Citizen Center. And it says, it has been brought to our attention that you have sent complaints to the state of Tennessee, ETHRA, and to the county mayor's office concerning issues within the Campbell County Senior Citizen Center. This is unacceptable behavior. You have been told upon numerous occasions that if there are concerns with the center, you need to make an appointment with the director of the center to discuss your concerns. Okay? Well, it goes on down here, talks about a few other things. It says this is a written warning informing you that these behaviors do not comply with the code of conduct. Any further unacceptable behavior at any time or of any nature, complaints of any nature, will result in your immediate expulsion from the Campbell County Senior Citizen Center. Okay? I may be wrong, folks, but in the United States of America, we've got a federal law called the whistleblower law. Okay? And it protects people like this. Okay? That whistleblower law, I'm not sure it applies to this. That would be up for some attorney to decide whether that applies here. But I'm thinking with federal dollars coming into that senior center, that it should apply here. That's just my thinking. Okay. They've sent her a letter partly based on the fact, and it says it right here on their letter that they sent her, and they sent this by certified mail to her. Okay. It says because she made complaints to the state of Tennessee, to the county mayor, and to ETHRA, that in itself is unacceptable behavior. Okay, well, it's probably only unacceptable behavior if you're guilty of what she says you're doing. That's my feeling. Okay, If you're not guilty of what she says you're doing, what difference does it make? That's just my feeling. That's my opinion. If you're guilty of it, okay, then you should have an issue. But if you're not guilty, let her complain to whoever she wants to complain to, okay? But with federal dollars involved, there's a federal law called the whistleblower law that if she's complaining and telling of issues, and I don't know what's going on. You know, like I said the other night, there's probably her story, the Senior Citizen Center story, and then in the middle, what's the truth, okay? That's a possibility. I don't know. But their letter says she's getting a written warning because she made these complaints. I'd like to know, and Hazel Valley's probably a good one to answer. You know, Mr. Slusher may have an opinion on that. Some folks like somebody else may have an opinion, okay? Is that a federal whistleblower issue? You know, I mean, retaliation. I mean, this is an obvious retaliation. It says it right in the first two lines. It's a retaliation because she's made complaints, okay? It's just a complete retaliation, okay? Based on that alone, and based on the fact that Mr. Kohlmeyer, at the meeting the other night, you all heard me say, the ones of you that watched Monday night, I did RL show Monday night. At the meeting Monday night, when these issues came up, Mr. Kohlmeyer threw his arms up in the air and said, I'm done with it. I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm not ever going to discuss it again, okay? Well, that tells me he's decided he's not going to do his job. The bylaws says that's his job, okay? So he just got on there and said at the meeting, basically, the way I understood it, he's not going to do his job, okay? If he's not going to do his job, and that's what he said, I felt like at that point in time, the mayor sitting up there who hires and fires that position, he should have looked at Mr. Kohlmeyer and said, turn your resignation in or I'm going to fire you because you've sat here and told us at the commission meeting you're not going to do your job, okay? So, and again, maybe I'm wrong about that. If I'm wrong, call me and correct me, okay? But when you're over a center like that and you've got a problem going on and your bylaws, which are highly suspicious within themselves, to be honest with you, if you read these things, okay, and to go along with some of the emails that I've gotten this week, folks, there's obviously an issue down there. And I would love to go down there and see what's going on, and find out what's going on, find out who's right, who's wrong, who's telling the truth, okay, but irrespective of who is telling the truth or who's not telling the truth, when your director, who is also a county commissioner, and again, my personal feeling, that's why the mayor ain't going to fire him, because he's a county commissioner. That's my personal feeling, okay? Because I made the statement the other day. The mayor didn't have any problem firing Danny Shackles. He didn't have any problem firing T. Don Boshears. There's another employee at the Environmental Center. He didn't have any problem firing them. But now you've got a quagmire going on down here at the Senior Citizen Center, and this is a position the mayor hires and fires. This man happens to be a county commissioner, so he's okay. We ain't firing him. He's okay. We ain't going in a new direction. So, you know, but, you know, I mean, it's just what it is, you know. I don't get it, you know, when a man does that. So, but I've read these bylaws. I need somebody to call me that actually goes down there. Somebody that actually goes, call and tell me what goes on. They're having one of them, I guess they call it a concert or a dance, a band, whatever it is tomorrow night. I'd love to know what goes on at those things. Let's see, we got, you're on the air.
Hello, Jerry. Jim Slusher.
Hey, buddy.
I've tried to explain to you several times
Okay.
that in Campbell County, well, not Campbell County, but in the nation generally,
Yeah.
we have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But now with the county commission that we have
Yeah.
a commission of the people, by the commission, and for the commission.
Right.
Because we have employees or people with conflicts of interest that are running the county commission.
Right.
So therefore, it's my premise that given our commission, the way things are set up, you cannot fire a county commissioner if that county commissioner is an employee of the county. Now, people will say, yes, you can. I say, no, you can't.
Well, and see, we have had that discussion. And you say
one case.
You say you can't. I say they won't. I say they won't. You know,
Well,
I think the mayor can fire him. I think the mayor won't fire him because he's a county commissioner and the mayor needs his vote.
I challenge you to cite me one case where a employee that's a county commissioner has ever been terminated from the county. Now, you just gave two perfect examples of two employees, supervisors,
Right.
that were fired and no reason given whatsoever other than I'm going in a new
Going
direction.
in a new direction.
But we have all this come out, and the employee is untouchable.
Right.
And I maintain that you cannot fire a county commissioner,
Well, and see, I disagree with your wordage.
employee of Campbell County.
You can fire him. You won't fire him.
No,
That's my opinion. He can fire him.
premise is
He won't
that
fire
in
him.
Campbell County common law that you cannot fire an employee, a county employee, if they are a county commissioner.
Right. Well,
I challenge Hazel Valley to take sides on
yeah.
that.
So, well, he ain't gonna take your side because I know you.
And you know this is a little bit of
It's a little bit of rhetoric. I know what you're saying. It's a little semantics in the words. I know what you're saying. You're kind of making fun of it, but it goes back to, because I know you're saying they can't fire him because they need the votes. It's that simple. The mayor, at some point in time, the mayor's going to need his vote. So, Mr. Colmeyer's got 3 more years on the commission. He ain't likely to fire him now because then he's got to face him for 3 more years. And Mr. Colmeyer might just hold that against the mayor if the mayor
you're
fires him.
forgetting what you just said.
Yeah.
Mr. Colmeyer threw up his hand and said, "I'm done with it." Now,
Right.
I don't know what that means. So
Well, if I remember right, he said, "I'm not going to talk about this anymore," didn't he?
that's what he said.
He said, "I'm not going to talk about it." He just flat said, "I'm not going to talk about this anymore." And it's his job to talk about it.
But he also held up a file that I don't know what was in it. It'd be very interesting to find out.
Well, we're going to see if we can't get our hands on that file.
But it's public information, and it has been displayed in the public.
He entered it into the record at the county commission meeting Monday night. I asked him for a copy of that file, and he refused me and said, "No, I'm not giving it to you."
Now, Hazel Valley, I want you to understand, I'm saying that you cannot fire a county employee if they are a county commissioner simultaneously.
Yeah.
Now, can you take another viewpoint
Go ahead, brother. I haven't got any other calls, so it's me and you.
on this skid steer?
Okay. Is it a skid steer, or somebody else told me it's a bobcat?
Well, aren't they one and the same?
I don't know what a skid steer is, to be honest with you.
But anyway, it's not whether Marlowe can make a purchase or not. To me, that's not the question.
Yeah.
The real question is who is the chief executive officer of the county?
Well, apparently we've got one that's
County. Does the county commission and the chief executive officer run it, or does the director of the finance?
Well, apparently we've got 2. We've got one that's elected sitting in the mayor's office, and then we've got one appointed sitting over at the finance director's office. And my understanding, this is what I was told, so I'm just going based on what I was told. My understanding at the meeting, he told the mayor that nobody controls what he spends. He can buy what he wants to as far as used equipment's concerned. That's what I was told. He looked at the mayor and told him that. Okay. I'm trying to verify that, so don't take that as gospel, folks. But I'm trying to verify that actually happened. But my understanding is he told the mayor I can buy whatever I want to. Now, I want to know what gives him the power to spend county dollars just because he feels like he needs to spend it.
Well, if you go back and you look at the past audits, in particular the audits of 2011 and 2012,
Right,
and the auditor gave adverse findings to the county of actions of the business office, the finance office,
right,
not of the mayor's office, but of the finance office, alleging irregularities in that office,
right,
in namely purchasing.
right,
This has been a perennial problem,
right,
and it always goes back to purchases authorized and so forth that may not conform to Hoyle.
right,
And if you look at those and you put them all together in totality, and in that our past commission, our do-nothing commission, and mayor took no issue with that publicly. There was no calling of the guards or anything, or
Right.
demanding a public explanation. As a matter of fact, they refused to publicly review the audit.
yeah,
When you look at that, right now, if we had to look at past experience and past activities, I would vote that the king of the hill is the director of finance.
I don't think there's any question about it.
Now, we've got a commission that so far has not fallen into line and obeyed what we will term as the king of the hill, the director of finance of Campbell County so far, except they did give him a whopping 13.1% increase in the budget last year. He said that was nearly enough to satisfy him and his needs. So he has come back now, and it looks like the increase is going to be 25+%. And note in that, no pay raises, nothing, so that means they'll be back next year for another increase. So it's going to be interesting to see who turns out to be king of the hill. Now, your director of finance is supposed to be the watchdog. They keep everybody in line. They say, yes, no, you can't do this, we can do that, here's how you do this. But it appears to me that the watchdog, the director of finance, may be biting his master.
Well, he's the only one that seems to have a free hand. Everybody else is under guard, but he seems to feels like he has a free hand. Is that would that be a correct?
Watchdog, you're allowed to bite.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the watchdog isn't allowed to bite the master, and the master is the county mayor and the county commission. And we've got some pretty strong personalities on the commission. We have Mr. Davis, Cliff Jennings, Scott Stanfield. Scott is becoming very outspoken, and he makes a lot of sense in what he said. I talked to him for over an hour today, and I tell you, he has a lot more knowledge about some things than I realized. Of course, I'd never had a long conversation with him before, but there are people on that commission that are going to demand accountability.
Right.
And it's going to be interesting to see who wins this contest between two aspiring king of the hill.
I would say if folks want to see, there's a good possibility if folks want to see how the future of this county is going to go, Monday night's meeting might hold that. Would you think that's a possibility?
I'd say that there's a lot of suspense going into the meeting.
I'd say there's a lot of suspense going into the meeting.
Is where the purchase is going to be discussed, and I think it meets at
4 o'clock.
Is that correct?
4 o'clock. I'm not going to be able to be at that. Are you going to get to go to that?
I plan on going.
Okay, hopefully you can. I'm on problem. I should make it back here for the 6 o'clock meeting. the 4 o'clock meeting, there's probably not much chance of me making that one.
But how in the world a finance director can use a skid steer in his office? I haven't figured that one out, Jerry.
Well, my question is, how is it up to him to decide that the county needs such a thing?
He needed it, didn't he?
Seem like, what does he need it for? I agree with you. What's he needed for?
I don't understand is what.
And another question that I'd love to get, who'd they buy that thing from? I'd love to know, who was that thing coming from? Was it one of his inside people? Okay. Who was it being?
Or it didn't even have a bucket on it.
I don't know. I'm not sure. So I don't know what good it'd do without a bucket. How you going? Because I was told the purpose of this thing is to scoop snow off the parking lots, which my understanding the road department already does. Okay.
When I was on the finance committee before I was engineered off of it, I made a motion, and it was seconded and unanimously approved by the Finance Committee, that any work that comes up that the road superintendent may have the ability to perform, that he has the right of first refusal. And it's my understanding that the road department did clear the parking lots at the mayor's request. Now, I may have that wrong, but that's my understanding.
Right.
And so, if it was the intent that they're going to do it, then they violated the policy that was enacted by the Finance Committee.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Dilbeck wouldn't have any problem sending somebody over to clean off the parking lot.
No, especially if he can see what they could do is the money they would have paid a contractor, they could pay to his department, and he could use it for asphalt. In other words, you get two pluses out of it.
There you go.
But
Mr. Dilbeck's doing a good job down there. So, and I've not seen him other than say, "Hey, folks, we just don't have the money." I've not seen him refuse anybody yet when they've made a reasonable request about services that that his office can provide. He tries to do the best he can to help folks. I've seen that, folks. I've seen it. Okay, but they're limited on the money they have. They just are.
Is it a vote of no confidence in the road superintendent? I hope not.
Yeah, no. There's like I said, I've seen him. I've been to his office. I've talked to his guys. I've firsthand seen them do their job like they should be doing out there. Simple as that. Mr. Dilbeck's told me that he don't have an issue if the county requests for him to do something. If it's within their ability to do it, they'll do it. If it's within their ability. Sometimes.
Well, I guess then we have to assume that Marlowe was going to use the skid steer Bobcat in his office, and unless you've got a lot of paperwork he wants to get rid of.
Maybe they're going to use it to rip up the carpet in the hallways. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you need to go to the meeting Monday night at 4 o'clock, because I know for sure I'm not going to be able to be here for that. But I do plan on being back for the 6 o'clock, the regular meeting at 6 o'clock.
Just remember, you cannot fire a county employee if they are a county commissioner.
Well, you can. I say you can fire them.
Incident where that has happened.
I can't help that it ain't happened. I say you can fire them. He don't have the guts to do it.
I maintain that you can.
I maintain that he ain't got the guts to do it. Okay. So.
Good evening.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye.
So that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. He had the guts to fire Mr. Shekels. He had the guts to fire T-Don, but we got a mess going on down here. We don't have the guts to fire this one. You're on the air. You're on the air. Okay. And apparently they're listening. Folks, when you call in, if you'll turn your TV down before you call in, it'll work out a lot better because there's a delay and you're missing, there's a delay about 6, 7, 8 seconds, and you're waiting for me to say something on the TV when I'm already talking to you. So turn your TV down when you call in. You're on the air.
Jerry.
Yes.
Well, you guys told me that if you're voted in, like city council and stuff, and commissioner, that they can't get rid of you.
They can't get rid of you off the commission. But see, he's got a job that the mayor appoints. He's got a job that the mayor hires and fires.
Oh, he does.
Yeah. His job as the director of the senior center has absolutely nothing to do with him being a commissioner. I'm saying the mayor don't have the guts to fire him because he's going to be a county commissioner for 3 more years. The mayor can't do anything about that, and he needs his vote sometimes.
Well,
So you ain't going to fire somebody you need their vote. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, he can't fire him as a commissioner. No, he can't do that. But
Well, now we need to get Jack Lynch in there next time then.
so, well, maybe Jack would have fired him. And I don't know. It's my feeling, from what I've seen, he needs to be fired. Okay, there may be other things that I'm wrong about. There may be. Okay.
All righty, see you.
Thank you, buddy. You're on the air.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Hello, Jerry.
Yes, ma'am.
Who was that man they wanted to fire anyway?
Who was what man they're wanting to fire?
Yeah.
Who is what man they're wanting to fire?
Oh, I thought you talking about firing somebody.
I am. Nobody. There's not. I am. That's my opinion. I don't think the mayor's not going. The mayor's probably not going to fire him. I'm talking about the director of the Senior Citizen Center.
Oh, okay, honey.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm talking. Do you go down there? Are you old enough to go?
No, honey, I was just wondering what you're talking about. I kind of missed it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm talking about the director of the Senior Citizen Center.
Well, you got a good show going, Jerry.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye. So, hey, folks, it's only a good show if you participate and give me a call. Like Monday night, but we quit calling at about 15 till 9 or 15 till 10. I went home. Okay. If you don't help me out and you don't participate, it's not a good show. I can bring you all the information I want, that I've got, but the information I've got, if you don't help me out, it lasts about 15, 20 minutes at the most, and I'm done. I need your folks to help call me and give me your opinions. And again, I'd love to have somebody to call me that actually goes to the Senior Citizen Center to tell us what goes on. Okay. I know they do some good things down there. I checked. They do some health checks. They do some blood pressure checks. They do some, probably do some body mass index checks, and I'd fail that every time. So I don't even fool with that one. I think they do some vision checks, some hearings, plus they just, it's a good, for senior citizens, it's a good place to go have social activities. I think they have a good lunch down there every day. I know I've got one board member that told me that this person gets they eat lunch down there every single day. But that they have a really good lunch. Just a lot of good things go on down there. But unfortunately, we got a quagmire of a mess, and apparently the director don't want to fool with it. You're on the air. Hello? Okay. I appreciate you calling. I wish you'd say something. So, but, I'll get down there at some point in time. Let's see if we got, you're on the air.
Jerry, I just wanted to know, I tried to listen to you Monday night, but I didn't get to. I listen to you all the time. Have they set the tax rate yet?
We have not. They're Mr. Slusher called, and we've talked about it many times, and we're trying to go to as many of these meetings as we can. They're trying to raise the property tax about 25%.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Mr. Jennings.
Now, he ain't gonna vote for it.
No, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Now people need to get behind him.
Yeah, he ain't gonna vote for it. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
She's going to tell me that there's going to be a big tax rate.
Yeah, Mr. Jennings, whether the tax increase is right or wrong, or whether you agree with it or not, I said this during the election last year, that, I kind of supported Mr. Jennings in the 3rd district. Even though he's a Democrat and I'm a Republican, I kind of supported Mr. Jennings because what I know about Mr. Jennings is, and you know this too probably, he ain't gonna take no bull from nobody. You ain't gonna tell Mr. Jennings, you ain't gonna say, hey, come be on our side, because you've got some of them's been down there for years. They try to side up with you. And I think he and a couple others told me, new one said they got them calls right away, said, come be on our side and we can get things done. We can do things our way. So from some of the old commissioners said, work with us and we'll get things done. You call Mr. Jennings, that stuff falls on deaf ears. He's going to do it the way he's going to do it, the way he feels it needs to be done, his conviction, right or wrong, like it or not, he's going to do it the way he feels like it needs to be done.
I talked to him one day this week, Mr. Jennings.
Yeah.
And I think he's a big commissioner. He got a lot of experience from the city. And he will do what's right, I think. But he told me, he said, Leon, I'll never, I shouldn't have called my name, but it's okay. He said, I'll never run for city or county commissioner again. He said, I wouldn't have that job at all again. He said, you can't get them, none of them, they go along with you hardly on anything.
Yeah.
And he said, they're going to kill us on taxes.
Yeah.
But he said, I can't help it.
There ain't anything you can do about it.
But our mailman kids stood right there the road before the election. My wife was up there, and he wanted us to vote for him in the district. And he said, I'll go and tell you, he said, if I get elected, there won't be no tax raise. And he was the first one brought the tax raise up. And you know that to be a fact.
Right.
And so I think anybody will lie to you, they will steal from you and reverse advice you. That's just the way I feel about it.
Well, I can't get elected because I won't lie to you what I'm going to do. I tell people what I'm going to do up front, and I'll be honest with you, and they don't like it sometimes, okay? So I can't get elected. So,
let's see. Lie to me and then turn around and just to get elected. That ain't no count.
Right.
And so, I'm not no big politician, but I do, I've always voted and tried to vote for who I think is right, but I don't like for nobody to lie.
Right.
To me.
Okay. Hey, I got another call. Thank you, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. You're on the air.
Yes, this is kind of off the subject.
Okay.
But I hope you give me some information.
Okay, if I can.
This is a young couple that lives in the city.
Uh-huh.
And they have a real big tree that the limbs is hanging over their porch of their house.
Now, what city?
La Follette.
Okay.
And they can't afford to have somebody come and cut it down or cut it where during these storms the limbs wouldn't come through their house.
Right.
And, it makes them very afraid every time it comes to a real bad storm.
Right.
Do you know of any way they could get any help on getting that tree at least where they don't have to worry about the limbs coming through their house?
I'd call the mayor and ask him, can he get somebody to help you?
Okay.
I'd call Mayor Stanfield. Really, seriously, I'd call Mayor Stanfield. He's generally pretty good about that kind of stuff. If he can get you some help, he's generally pretty good about that kind of stuff. I don't know that he'd be able to do anything to get you some kind of help. But that's where I'd do. Tomorrow morning, I'd call Mayor Stanfield.
Okay, listen, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Hopefully the mayor can get her some help. I don't know what they can do on, when you're looking at doing something on private property. I'm not sure what all you can do and can't do, but hopefully they can get some folks some help. I mean, everybody knows that one thing that Mayor Stanfield, there's some things I disagree with him totally over, but one thing that Mayor Stanfield does, I mean, he tries to help people. There ain't no question. He tries to help people. So, okay, we got another. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Jerry.
Yes. Turn your TV down, please.
Okay, I'll just turn it off for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, I live in Sherwood, in the city, right here where the garbage truck comes down.
Right.
And they come right to my house, and they won't pick up my garbage.
Are you in the city?
Well, I don't know, but it's just right there. It ain't 3 steps from my house to the road.
Right, but if you're not in the city, they can't. If it's an unfortunate part about being part of the city and not being part of the city. If you're not in the city, they just can't do it.
Yeah, but I don't understand. It ain't 3 steps.
It don't matter if it's 3 steps or 1 step. If you're not in the city limits, they cannot do it. Because if just 1 step over the city line, if one of those guys were to fall and get hurt, or they had an accident or something, it opens them up for lawsuits and liability. They just can't do it.
Yeah, but they don't have to get on my property to pick it up.
I understand that, but
the road where they just stop in the road and pick it up.
okay, but if the road is not in the city, okay, they just can't do it.
Well,
I know it sounds silly. I know it does. I know it sounds silly, but if you're not in the city limits, you're part of the county and not the city. They just can't do it.
Well, they picked it up for 20 years like that.
Well, and I don't know what happened. I really don't. Okay, and you may be in the city. I don't know. I mean, do you know?
I don't know, but I can.
When the city elections come up, do you get to vote in the city elections?
Yeah.
You vote in
Caryville.
You vote in the Caryville city elections.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get a vote for the Caryville mayor and the alderman when the election comes up.
I guess.
I'm not asking you, do you go down to Caryville and vote? Because that a lot of people go down Caryville and vote, but they don't necessarily live in the city.
Oh, I don't know that then.
Okay, see, so I mean, if you don't live in the city limits, they cannot pick up your garbage. They just can't do it. Because one of the reasons is because of liability issues with insurance, with things like that, potential for being sued. That they just can't do it.
Well, my garbage would sit right there on the road where they cut down to go down the cemetery road here.
Okay, well, find out where the city line is, and move your garbage over the city line. Push your garbage or carry your garbage can down over the city line, and maybe they'll pick it up. But as long as it's not in the city, they're not supposed to pick it up.
Well, I don't know. I just don't understand. But they did for a long time, and all at once they just quit.
Yeah, and maybe the city attorney told them not to do it. I don't know the issue. Okay, I just know that if you're not within the city limits, they're not supposed to do it.
Well, okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like it's an issue that's it's an unfortunate situation. But I mean, you've got insurance companies drive a lot of that, folks. Workers' comp drives a lot of that, and your personal liability insurance and all, it drives a lot of that. And it says, it don't matter if it's 1 foot over the line or 3 foot or 10 feet over the line. If you're not within those city limits, they can't do anything for you. That would be the same on a police call. Well, now the police probably has. They probably have a working agreement on police protection that they probably could answer a call up there, but if it is in the county, they probably could answer a call, but only as a backup to a county officer. They probably couldn't answer the call as the responding officer. That call would go to the county, and maybe a Caryville officer would come up there and assist the county officer. That happens quite a bit. They have I forget what that document's called, but they have a working relationship that they can do that. So, but, you know, it's, you know, this, you know, let's say this, you know, there was a tree hanging over a road, you know, and it's in the county. The city couldn't go up there and cut that tree down. Okay. That would have to be the county do that. Of course, you know, apparently we've got a lawsuit going on over that kind of thing. So I don't know what, you know, what's going on there totally. So, but, you know, I wish we could help that lady, but we just can't. So, I'm still waiting on somebody to call me that actually goes to the Senior Citizen Center. I want to look at this code of conduct, the Senior Citizen Center code of conduct. Okay. There is, one of the things they say that this lady has done that they're trying to keep from going down there. Let me find it. One of the things they say she's done, where is that letter? Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Is that it says, there have been complaints concerning your continual yelling and screaming at dances on Thursday nights. You have received a verbal warning in the past concerning this action. You have been asked to cease all yelling and screaming or the inciting of others to scream and yell. This action is not acceptable according to the Code of Conduct. And according to the Code of Conduct, which is right here, it says, behave and speak in a manner that is respectful to others. This includes, but is not limited to, screaming, yelling, and making of sudden noises that may startle others, using noisemakers, balloon poppers, or other devices that may startle members. Participants shall not be allowed. Pre-arrangements for such devices must be made with the office prior to any senior citizen New Year's Eve celebration or other event. A sample of the device of complete description must be presented at the time of approval. Okay, so one of the things that I know that I've been told that this lady allegedly does is that she likes to yell and scream when she's dancing or whatever she's doing. And they say she gets up in other people's ears and yells in people's ears. Okay, and, you know, basically I was told she just makes a huge nuisance of herself. That's what I was told. I don't know if it's true or not, you know, but I was told she makes a nuisance of herself. Okay, and the Code of Conduct goes against that. But even though it does that, it still doesn't allow them to send her a letter and say, because you've complained, this is unacceptable. You're on the air.
Yes, this is not about the senior citizens, but
Okay.
I was just wondering, how much money do you think the city would save if they would stop the cops from taking their cars home and from driving them all over the place when they have them home?
What do you mean driving them all over the place?
Well, they get them out and drive them, and when they're off duty.
Do you have proof of that?
Only by seeing.
Okay. Next time you say, now, I'm curious how you know they're off duty.
Pardon me?
I'm curious how you know they're off duty.
They're not in uniform.
Okay. Now, this is an issue that I'll be glad to take up for you if you will help me out on this. Okay. Do you have a cell phone with a video recorder?
I have a cell phone. I don't have a video recorder.
Okay. I mean, your phone doesn't have a camera that does video recording?
Oh, yes, my phone does. My phone makes pictures.
Okay, makes pictures. It probably does video. What kind of phone do you have?
You know, I don't even know.
Okay. It probably has a video capability. Maybe you don't know how to use it, but hopefully you can find out. And I promise you, if you will get some picture evidence or some video evidence, and you will get that to me, I promise you I will take that issue up for you.
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
That's fair enough.
Okay.
I just think that they waste a lot of gas.
If they're using those vehicles those police cars on their own personal time to do their own personal running around and all that. If I can get the proof of that, okay, I'll be glad to go to I'm assuming you're talking about La Follette, are you?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be glad to go to Mr. Jeffers and go to the mayor and show them that and ask them, is this proper for your officers to be doing this, okay? And now, on the other part, I do not, and if they didn't take the cars home, there probably would be a little bit of savings on the money, okay? But now, me personally, I do not have one issue at all with officers taking their vehicles home, not one bit, okay? And I discussed this a little bit Monday night, and I'll tell you again why, okay? Let's say somebody was breaking into your home, okay? And you've made that call to 911, and they needed some extra officers to handle those calls, okay? If you had somebody that's, living across the town from where you are, would you want to have to wait to get help till they drove down to the police department, they got ready, drove down to the police department, got their car, got it fired up, then got to your house? Or would you rather them be able to jump right in their car and get to you as quick as they possibly could?
Well, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Okay, that's why they do it. That seriously is why they do it, okay? Because there are times, it's not a lot, but there are times when things happen and they need extra folks to come on duty. Those officers are on call 24 hours a day, as far as I know. They're never off, okay? They unless they're off on a legitimate vacation and they're going on vacation, they're on call 24 hours a day. It's the same with Caryville, same with Jacksboro, it's the same with the county, and I'm sure it's the same up in Jellicoe. An officer's never off duty. That's just the truth of the life they live. They're never off duty. And if they have the ability, if somebody's breaking in your house, I want somebody there as quick as they can get there. Okay? I don't want them having to get in their personal car, drive down to the courthouse, transfer over and get in their police car, and then get to your house. Okay? Now, hopefully they've got people that, they've got enough people on duty. But, they might ask for extra help to get you some protection, and that's why they do that.
Okay.
Okay? But now, as far as them using the vehicles for their personal use, and maybe going to the grocery store or taking the family somewhere, and if you can get me some picture evidence of that or some video evidence of that, I promise you, I will take that issue up for you.
I'll do my best.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, Mr. Chadwell.
Hello. Do not mention your name, please.
Okay.
Because I saw it pop up here. No, do not mention your name.
All right.
Okay. How can I help you?
This is the lady who got the letter.
Right.
And I promise you, there is nobody there who can ever say I have screamed in their face or anything.
Okay.
The president of the board, one night she came in and sat down with a recorder. And as I came, the drummer asked her, "Are you recording this?" She said yes. As I came off the dance floor, she stood up and screamed in my face as loud as she could, nose to nose. I thought, hey, this woman has really lost it.
Yeah.
There was several people went to, the director was not there. Several people went the next morning or either that night, told him what happened. I would try to go before the board to report what this board president had done.
Right.
They would not allow me to. Another board member jumped up and we're not listening to this, we're not listening to this, and they adjourned and left me standing there.
Right. Yeah, I got a packet of information today. I wish I'd have got it maybe yesterday. I could have printed it out and read it. I didn't have time to go through the whole thing. I'll try to print that out this weekend and read it sometime this weekend.
Please do.
So, but I want to come down there, and I want to ask people myself. Tell me what's going on here, okay? Hopefully they'll talk to me. I'm not going to record anything. Yeah, I'm not gonna write anything down. Hopefully, but I can't, I was gonna come tomorrow night. I promise you I was, but, I've had an aunt to pass away and I'm gonna be at a funeral tomorrow night. So I can't come tomorrow night. I wish I could, but, we're gonna find out. I do wanna ask you a question. This other fella that, they've apparently booted him out.
Right.
And of course, now he says it's because he wanted to sing with the band. Do they let people get up and sing with the band?
Yes, Jerry, it is open mic.
It's an open mic. Okay.
Yes. Anybody who walks through that door can get up there and sing.
Okay.
But because of the letter he put in the paper about how the election was run, and I sent you a letter there about the last election.
Okay.
And what they did.
Like I said, I got to go through that, but I didn't get to read it all because I didn't see it until about 5:30. I just didn't have time to do it. So, but I'll try to do that this week. But but I was just curious because I did ask Mr. Kohlmeyer about that the other day.
Yes.
And this is what he told me. He said, he didn't tell me it was an open mic. Okay. He told me if you want to sing, you have to go to them, and they will decide whether you get to sing or not. That's what he told me.
No, that's not the way it is.
So that's not the way because that's what he told me.
Right.
Because when I was standing there talking to him, you saw me standing there talking to him Monday.
Yes, I did.
I asked him that question. I said, if I came down there and I decided I wanted to get up and sing a song, which ain't nobody wants to hear that, I promise you, would I be allowed to get up and sing a song? He said, you have to come to us and we'll decide whether we'll approve you to get up and sing or not. That's what he told me.
Okay. As far as going into his office to talk with him,
Yeah.
hey, when you go, this board member is there, and she is screaming and yelling at you, and Mr. Kohlmeyer is sitting there like it's, I don't know what's going on.
Right. So,
I have been going there for 10 years.
how much time we got, Honeybee? About 20 seconds. Hey, I'm going to read your stuff. Honeybee says I got about 15 seconds. I appreciate you calling. I'm going to read your stuff. Pay attention, Nick. Call next week, and we'll talk some more about it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
very much.
Okay. Remember our friends at Vital Care. If you call 911, ask them to send Vital Care. Go see Mr. Cole down there at Jacksboro Metals. He'll buy all your stuff, send it off out of the county, get that junk out of here, cleaning up the county. So I appreciate you. I'll see you next week.
When every second counts, count on Vital.